So the Cyberpunk community and myself have been very busy discovering some hidden secrets after patch 1.5. There's a lot of cool stuff that has been added that was not mentioned on the official CD Projekt Red livestream or the official patch notes. In fact, there's some really cool stuff happening with the police in this game and dynamic events that you may not have noticed yet, but this is kind of like a tease in my opinion as to things that will most likely be coming to the game overall, and hopefully we get further updates to that police system as well, because as you guys know, it's been pretty underwhelming since patch 1.5. Now let's just get straight into a lot of these secrets and changes that are happening in the game. First of all, starting out with this really cool find right here. It says you can finally order a Jackie Wells. This is not a drill, and this is from Here to Talk About Racing. And this is really cool. You go to Afterlife, and yes, you can now order a Jackie Wells. It doesn't give you any like significant buffs or anything like that. In fact, it actually hurts your character, but it's a really cool addition. It just adds more to the lore of the game world, in my opinion. Now, also, I did a recent video about Update 1.5. Check it out on the channel. It's a complete recap of everything that's in the game so far, but the police system was by far the most underwhelming thing about Update 1.5. They really didn't touch it, and we don't have like car chases or anything like that. But what we do have is this discovery from Rogue Taco Art, excuse me, who found this right here, that yes, police actually do give chase to other gangs, and this is like a dynamic event that several community members of Cyberpunk have discovered, and it's really cool to see that they're finally adding this sort of dynamic event into the world of Night City. I love it. I really hope they continue fleshing out these dynamic events. Let me know what you guys would like to see from dynamic events in Cyberpunk. But yeah, I really hope they continue fleshing out this police system, because right now, as it stands, yeah, they can chase, you know, AI and things like that, but they don't chase you, the actual player, which just kills me that that was not included in Update 1.5. But maybe we'll get that in Update 1.6. We'll have to wait and find out. Now, another really cool addition that you might have missed in Cyberpunk Update 1.5 is this one right here, that you can actually turn on the wheel rings of your motorcycle. This is really cool. Basically what you do on PC is press Control, and also on consoles you hit the left thumbstick. So it's pretty easy to do, and I think it's a really cool addition. But also you have to notice that they have improved the motorcycle handling greatly. It is one of my favorite things about Update 1.5 is that they have improved the handling across the board for vehicles, but particularly I love the motorcycles now. It is so good. Also, if you didn't notice something about motorcycles, you can actually hop onto any of the gang's motorcycles that are around Night City. You couldn't do that at all in the game before Update 1.5, one of those weird things about Cyberpunk, but now, hey, go for it. You can hijack those motorcycles and turn on their wheel wings as well. Now, one of the cool things that I earned is this new car right here. I think it's from Dino. You complete a lot of the fixer gigs around Night City. I think you have to do 5 for him, and then you can earn this reward. Now, you can also earn weapons and things like that throughout Night City by completing these fixer gigs. But a lot of people have been messaging me and asking me, hey, how do I collect the reward? I have completed 5 out of 5 gigs. It says so on the map. Where in the world do I go? Usually in Cyberpunk, they give you a call, tell you to go to a certain place, but that's not the case with these gigs. So once you complete the objectives and you have like 5 out of 5 gigs done for whatever fixer, you go to the map and you will see within the vicinity where that fixer is located a brand new, I guess you would say, gig. It looks like a gig. That's the weirdest thing to me. They need to have a different symbol here for this, but you go to collect your reward. I thought a lot of people might need to know this because I've gotten so many messages about this one issue in particular. So yeah, go after those rewards. I know it's kind of strange. You'll find cars at garages, and then weapons will be at other locations as well. Now, let's keep going and talk about undocumented changes that has happened to Cyberpunk under the hood that you may not be aware of whatsoever. So this was discovered by Heading Into Sound and One Dragon as well. So let's dive into some of these right now. It goes on to say this. Let me zoom in for you all. It says the maximum number of mod slots you can have across all clothing items was reduced from 20 to 9. We have legendary mods now require legendary pieces of clothing to be equipped. Every mod is now tied to a specific category of clothing, like Deadeye Crit mod can only be equipped to eyewear gear. Your default crit damage has been reduced from 100% to 50%, and every point in reflexes now gives 0.25% crit chance instead of 1%. Now, crit chance and crit damage of legendary weapons has been significantly reduced across the board, by the way. Stat requirements on some of the best legendary weapons have been increased. Example is Comrade's Hammer now requires 10 body instead of 6 to use properly. A lot of people are kind of bummed about some of these stat increases, by the way. It says legendary Armadillo mod now gives 75 armor per mod instead of 270. Evasion has been replaced with mitigation. It is governed by 2 stats similar to crit chance and crit damage. You have mitigation chance and mitigation amount. For example, you can have 10% chance to mitigate 50% of damage on hit. So it's definitely interesting, some of these changes. I've heard a lot of people complaining how, it seems like mods are now tied to specific clothing, and that's a problem for people. Let me know if that's the case, if that's how you feel about this, if you think they need to add some sort of transmog system now that they've done these changes in update 1.5. Sound off in the comments below. But yeah, overall, update 1.5, in my personal opinion, has been really, really impressive despite some of these controversies. So I think overall, they've done an excellent job. Now, also, there was a really cool discovery here as well about one of the katanas. So we're going to be talking about that right now. Check this out. It says the katana you get as a reward for finishing all of Wakako's gigs lets you leap towards enemies like the Mantis Blade. So this has been updated, and this was discovered by Heading to Sound. And let's check out the gameplay clip right here. Check that out. Oh my god, that is absolutely freaking brutal. But yeah, some really cool things happening with the melee-based weapons as well. Now, as you guys know, they did update some of the romance options in Cyberpunk as well. Some more conversations can be had. Now, with Panam, you can actually find her location and end up waking up next to her. So this is a brand new update as well, and it just adds that personal touch to your relationships that you build in Cyberpunk 2077. And that one was actually discovered here by, let me see real quick, I gotta give credit where it's due, Praxitix, I believe it is, Praxitix. So check out the links in the description below on that one right there. But some cool discoveries right there for sure. Now, there's some really cool traffic updates as well. They've updated, of course, your player vehicles, cars, motorcycles, but they updated the actual traffic NPC, I guess you would say, with suspension. My personal opinion, this adds so much to the game, and it looks so nice seeing the cars have actual momentum suspension. When they turn corners, when they hit things, you see them jostle about in a realistic manner. I was always looking at the cars and I thought, God, they move so weird, even when you're like in cinematic moments in the actual game. But now they look just right, in my opinion. This is a small update, but for me personally, it's definitely a significant update. Now, there's some really cool stuff happening with the weather systems and how NPCs are actually reacting. This one was discovered by Pablo. Check this out right here. NPCs will actually bring out their umbrellas to protect themselves in the rain conditions. That's a really cool find. And you know what? People are running into more sandstorms. This one comes from Styquist, who discovered sandstorms right in the heart of Night City. I myself have not run into this just yet, but it gives that Blade Runner type feel to the game for sure, and I really hope they keep updating the weather system as well. And you know what? I would love to see things like radiation, perhaps in an expansion where you have to find certain gear to basically build your resistance from such a thing, or perhaps have part of the world where they it gets irradiated by these radiation storms. I personally love that sort of thing. Let me know if you guys would like to see that as well. Now it's time to go over your top comments. Remember to leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video, but you guys had a lot to say about the massive 60 gigabyte update. Check out my most recent video right here, and you can find it on the channel if you missed out on it. And I'm still going to be doing a full-blown review of what I think about Cyberpunk after the patch. Now we have L, who says this: I did 2 playthroughs after launch, and I'm now waiting for the first expansion, so this patch appears to be a big step in the right direction for me. However, for those who play every new patch, this one may still be a disappointment. And it got 161 upvotes. That doesn't surprise me. I think a lot of you personally were really wanting the police system to be fleshed out and to know that there's more systems in the game in Night City that kind of support the feeling of living in a breathing, living city, I guess you would say. Now, I will say I love the apartments. I love the 2 new weapons. I think that's definitely a step in the right direction, but hopefully the next update is about dynamic systems in Night City, the police system, and yeah, I wouldn't mind to see some more weapons. I personally love that they keep adding free weapons in here. Now, we have Crimson Sunbear, who says, I'm happy with the progress, but I think the opinion would be different if it had taken half the time. 6 months was a bit on the long tooth. I expected more system changes, but I'm happy that it's taken the direction of system improvements. Yeah, and it's taken so long because right now, CD Projekt Red, during all of this, they're doing so many things simultaneously. By the way, they're restructuring the entire company. They plan to basically begin work on 2 AAA titles while working on updating Cyberpunk, while working on the expansions for Cyberpunk. So it sounds pretty crazy what they're trying to do over there, and I really hope it doesn't make the crunch too much on the team and everything collapse essentially. So we'll have to wait and find out by the end of 2022 how the team is holding up. Then we have Roth Family, who says, this is finally an update where I'm seeing genuine improvement. The AI, the fixers, the apartments, customization. These are things the game needed, in my humble opinion. Absolutely needed it right out of the gates, but thankfully we have it at least now, you know? Then we have Local Brain Error, who says this: now I'm just waiting for the expansion before I replay. After 14 months, I believe now the features they added in the next gen 1.5 are truly great features and everything we wanted, but this game desperately needs a story expansion. Its story was short-lived and fast-paced. It needs more lore. So yeah, I have a lot of opinions on how they can handle story in this game, and I hope to tap into that in future videos as well. Now we have this one from Person 1, who says, after the last patch and free DLC, I had actually given up hope for CD Projekt Red. Now finally we get some features in the game that we all expected from the start. The radio silence has been long, but the company finally has listened to the community and stepped on the gas. This is by no means a time to lose momentum. The game still requires several free patches like these, adding the so needed content, another several patches and paid DLC later. Will we finally have the game we hoped for? Go minigames, plus more interaction with random characters, giving us interesting stories in bars, clubs, parks, etc., with more insight in the lore, as the world can still feel empty sometimes apart from the shoddy bang bang. Faith almost restored and added to the library, but will not recommend yet. Interesting. So, you know, I'm noticing a common thing that's happening within the community. You guys want story, you guys want lore. And I feel like they need to add a lot more into that. It doesn't have to be through, in my opinion, this is my opinion. Of course, we're going to get an expansion with a main story arc, don't get me wrong, but they need to do that with side missions. Go Ghost of Tsushima on this game. That's what I'm talking about. That's my opinion. We'll see if they can do that in the future. But there it is, the latest happenings around Cyberpunk 2077. A lot of cool discoveries from the community. I've been running into some really cool stuff as well. I'll keep going with these videos and see what else the community and myself find as we go. We'll have to wait and see. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.